And with the magic of video, we've just jumped back from Hipsterville, Brunswick. And my God, it was cold on the way back. I saw a few pedicured dogs stuck to trees on the way back.
And including man buns on the dogs.
Man bums, but alas, no man boobs.
Yeah. Oh, wait for it.
And just how hipster are you? Well, nothing compared to us right now, because we are in hipster heartland. We're in the city of Brunswick, about 5 kilometres from Melbourne's CBD. And we literally have just come from the Temple Brew House, having shared a beer, I kid you not, with a dog wearing a man bun.
I'm surprised it wasn't wearing skinny jeans.
It's the sort of thing you'd expect here. Now, we didn't pull up here in a Subaru, and I haven't registered yet to vote Greens, but standing here I'm feeling a little bit that way. Have a look at what we're standing next to. Now, I've never seen anything like this before. This is an automat, a vending machine, where you can actually buy freshly roasted coffee to grind yourself at home, and away you go. But being Brunswick, we literally are just a couple of doors down away from where they actually roast the product themselves.
Can you imagine having one of these machines in Broadmeadows or Melton?
Oh, how long do you think it would last?
Yeah, no, I'm sure the machine would last, but it would be empty really quick with the glass broken.
I think double thickness glass and even barbed wire wouldn't keep it stopped there. But I'd imagine my wife would love to have one of these actually in our larder.
Yeah.
Just open up the kitchen door and away you go. We're also very close to Brunswick Aces, which is a gin distillery. Now, if you go back, and we've got a rich history of videos online at the moment.
Oh, we did one on gins of all sorts.
We did, and we spoke about their Sapir gin, which is SAPIIR. They specialise in the non-alcoholic gins, but later on have also made alcoholic versions of them as well. There's one in particular I was very keen to try today, and that's a citrus-driven gin. And the reason for that is, Seuss, later on we're going to go back to the Gunners Club, and you're invited to come back with us, given it's a Saturday evening. And I'm going to make you a spiced Negroni that will blow your mind.
Well, I'll put the fire on, and that should make the evening even better. But have a look at this place, Ace's Gin, and I love the name on it. It's not lit up because they're not open. They were supposed to be, but they're not open. Ginnies, how cute is that?
We promised you a Negroni, and by golly, we're going to deliver. But before we did that, we thought we'd put the fire on because we knew you were coming.
Yeah.
And pour ourselves a scotch. So what are we drinking, Seuss?
What are we drinking? Oh, this, just a wee dram of monkey shoulder.
Oh, Hushinguster, how nice.
What a good drop it is.
I like it.
Well, it's a very mid-range scotch, but wow, it's got some decent flavour to it.
It's a blended scotch. It's basically a unison of some very well-known distilleries. I like it because how sweet and approachable it is. I think it's a great entry-level scotch. It's something that I've used to get you into scotch, for goodness sake.
Well, I can certainly approach it.
Yeah, which is uncanny for you. Now, talking about Brunswick, a good friend of my wife who lives in Brunswick brought some presents to my wife the other day, and my wife, being a teacher, opened up a can after work, and what it was a spiced Negroni. Now, for some reason, she opened it up and she said, "This is actually really delicious." I looked at the colour of it, and it was a dark colour. It was darker than that, and I thought, Negroni, why in fact is it that colour? And I'm thinking, is it to do with the Portuguese word for colour? Do you like the Negro word? It's not. It's simply the name of a count in Italy, Count Camillo Negroni, that it's named after. And so I made a Negroni myself and said to my wife, "I think I can do one better. Why don't you try this?" And you know what?
Oh, hello, he's going to do one better.
Mine was an awful lot better.
There you go.
So Negronis are really easy to make. You pretty much just need the 3 ingredients. It's all about the ingredients that you use and pretty much nothing else. I like to have it gin-based with a citrus-driven gin. And we're going to try that, but we're also going to do one which is actually done with a Negroni-driven gin. Now, let me talk about the gins. I love and I'm very proud of Australian product, and whenever I can talk about it, I do. This one is the Queenscliff gin. It's a citrus one, and if you do ever have the pleasure of going to visit them, It's downstairs where they have this big pot copper distillery, and it's quite beautiful. It's a micro level size, but what I've done is I've put this particular gin here for you, Suze. Why don't you just try it, pucker it up, because it's going to be a little bit zesty and tart, and just have a little bit of a nip and tell me
You
what
know I
get.
like a good tart.
So you'll have the zestiness coming out of the citrus.
Oh yeah,
And
very much.
I'm going to get you to try that back to back against a spiced Negroni gin. Now this is by Four Pillars. I've sung their praises before. If you want to go back in a library, we've got a video just on gin. It's probably just a little bit over long, but it tells you more about gin than you will need for the rest of this life. So try that for me. Now when we talk about spiced, what they've done, and the ingredients are really exotic at the back, and I thought, what on earth are they talking about? You know, they're talking about kubeb and African grains of paradise. Well, essentially, it's equivalent of pepper and ginger. So let's not lose our minds over what we're doing, but that effectively gives you the spice. Are you getting a bit more of a drier gin with a bit more pepperiness? That's really what this gin should be all about.
Wow, that's different.
Yeah,
That's like ginger in there.
exactly what I said, only they give it some other tarted up name. So we're going to do them back to back. I'll just quickly run through the ingredients. We've talked about the gin. The other thing that we use, now vermouth, it's essentially a wine product, but what they do is they add a distillated spirit to it, and that's what makes it fortified. So it just makes it stronger. So if you taste this by itself, it's similar to a wine, a little bit stronger. They do encourage you to drink it on its own or together with some lemon and ice cubes. I don't really know if you've never tried this before, it's probably not what you're after. It's something you'll be more used to drinking with a vodka, like a vodka martini, something like that, or with the gin that we've got here. This is what I use. I use a French product. It's from the south of France. It's windswept and miraculous and cures diseases like the water from Lourdes, I'm sure. Or it's good to make a Negroni with. Now the third ingredient, you ready for this? Okay. Your favourite spirit of all time, for most of the time that I've known you, has been in this particular French quadratic shaped bottle.
Yes.
Okay, Cointreau, they play with the name of, you know, Quatre Coins du Monde, from the four corners of the world. And they do say as well with this, éviter le contrefaçon, essentially avoid counterfeit products. Now, how counterfeit can we get? You ready? How about something blue? Now, when you're a young person and you've got your cocktail book and they're asking for Cointreau, quite often what you'll find people using is this. It's called Curaçao. It's named after basically an island, a Dutch island in the Caribbean, where they've got a particular bitter orange, and that's the juice basically and the rind of that orange. In Australia, we don't call it Curaçao, we call it Caracao. A member of our family had a blue cat, a Persian cat, and called it Caracao because of this. It's not that at all. Look, please. I know you might be struggling to make ends meet. Maybe have a glass of water instead. Don't use this product. Okay? Use a Cointreau.
But
or
it's so
think up
pretty.
something else. I never liked the blue food colouring because for most of man's existence, blue food colouring has been made from coal, and we're simply not made to consume that. I'm not saying that's what they're using today, but you know, like they say, avoid the counterfeit. So we're going to use those three ingredients. It's pretty easy to make. Do you want to take your 3 glasses, 1, 2, 3, add them in? It's such an easy cocktail to make because it's in equal proportions, those 3 ingredients.
Ah, okay.
Add that to your ice. Now, I remember last time you made a cup of tea, I stayed around to find out if you were actually a jingler or a dangler. But with this, we're going to get you to swizzle.
You see, now you're confusing me. You're asking too much of me.
So it should be as easy as ABC 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Well, it's got saving graces already, simply because
It's got Cointreau in
Yeah,
it.
exactly. The rest of it, I'm not so sure. But there you go.
And we'll get you to try them both. So it doesn't have the brown caramelized colours. I'm not into food colour additives or things like that. Or It's just wonderful. Just already the scent that you get from the Cointreau, and the gin I think really lifts it, and we've got a little bit of bitterness there as well from the fortified wine.
That's not bad.
Okay.
I don't mind that.
So you see we've got a satisfied customer.
That's not bad. And you know, sometimes these mixed drinks are a bit hard to make.
Yeah.
I reckon even I could make this one.
That's the magic of it. It literally is a 1, 2, 3, ABC, equal proportions of the three. But please try that against a spice Negroni. I want to see what you think. So that one is using the spice Negroni one instead of the citrus gin.
Ah.
So that's the standard Negroni, and this one here is a spiced one. So remember, we've got more of the pepper and the ginger tastes for this. Thoughts, dear sir?
I can't make up my mind. They're both very nice.
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference in, it's a subtle difference in taste, not a great deal. I can't make up my mind which one I like better.
So I think we're stuck today with an embarrassment of riches. I think myself I'd always go for the more citrus-driven one. And I was quite excited today at Brunswick of trying out their citrus gin that they had as well. Wasn't to be this time around, but hopefully next time that we're in Brunswick we'll get an invite again and come to do that.
Sounds good to me. I don't mind these at all. How would it go mixed with my scotch?
Oh, I don't think we'd go there.
Yeah.
There are
Such a party pooper.
There's a few routes in life I don't think I'd let you take me down. I think that'd be one of them.
Oh, we nearly forgot a very important guest. I don't know whether you've noticed him. We have Bob behind us there. He's keeping an eye on us, making sure everything's kept civil.
Yeah, Bob essentially is the president of the mess committee. If you've ever been in any armed forces before, you know exactly what we're talking about. His job's for two main things. One of them, he collects subscription to the mess. One day when he does actually catch me by the ear, I'll have to pay my subs. I think he said he's going to promise himself a meal when that day comes. And the other thing he does as well is he marks the roll book. And the roll book must be marked. And we're glad that you've joined us as well and we've ticked you off for today.
Raise a glass, have a cold one, and we'll catch you at the next one.
We'll see you again.